Coming up next is going to be Mrs. Nkuntu Letsuiti as in Uswiti, sweets. And she'll be talking about launch of Technical Teachers Association. This one should be interesting. Already I can tell that our app is going to have a lot of questions because people want to know what this is all about. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon and thank you. Let me start by appreciating and thanking the head of Sasol Foundation, thank the Department of Basic Education, thank all the partners that we have here from the private sector, as well as the teachers, the technical teachers and the vocational teachers across the country. Good afternoon. Colleagues, as it is said, I am going to speak about the new South African Technical and Vocational Educators Association. One can ask, is this another teachers association? And the question and the answer is yes, this is another one. But South African Teachers and Vocational Educators Association is an independent, it's non-discriminatory, and it's also a non-aligned association, which means that all the teachers in the country, especially those that are offering technical subjects, those that are artisans, and those that are at vocational schools, as much as they are members of other teacher labor-related unions, they can also be part of this organization, because this organization is only speaking to our subjects and our trade. And this is the presentation outline. It will be the purpose, the background, the aims and objectives, the introduction of the Interim Executive Committee, the highlights and progress made thus far, challenges and mitigation, way forward and closure. We will start with a vision and a mission. We have a vision which is to be a hub for the enhancement of the innovative and creative educators to improve the STEM skills. And our mission is to empower as well as inspire educators to facilitate learning and constantly nurture every educators. Amongst one of our values is having dignity, being truthful, hard work, responsibility, cooperation, gratitude, compassion, sharing, and freedom. And the slogan is, "The future is in my hands." SATIVA was conceptualized and established in the year 2000 in the Gauteng province. In many of our many working sessions attended by members of the Department of Basic Education, which is the national training team. We have the national training team being members, or they come from the 9 provinces. They are coordinators. Some of them are teachers and some of them are subject specialists. We gather every now and then if there is anything that has to do with curriculum changes in the Department of Education. But in 2000, when we met, we were finalizing the caps for the vocational orientated subjects that we know that electrical technology, mechanical technology, as well as vocational technology are the new subjects that we are piloting in our schools in grade 8 and 9. And we also have these occupational subjects that are also now implemented in the School of Skills, which in layman's language, we all call them School of Skills, but the correct nomenclature is, we call them special schools, but the correct word is School of Skills. So during that collaboration, we said, as much as we have our labor unions, being representing us, but as far as our conditions of work are concerned, as far as our subjects are concerned, as far as the skill shortage is concerned, we have a common goal. But some of these problems that we encounter are not necessarily catered for in the union. So we saw it being very imperative that we as a collective, as the technical teachers in the country, we must form our own association so that we will be able to sit and discuss and see how we can craft a way forward in helping our government in making sure that the 2030 goal for making sure that we have 30,000 artisans is reached. And it was also motivated and inspired by the individual and collective quest to contribute professionally in the development of the skills in the changing world. The world is changing at a rapid time. You know, the pace is so fast, and it's important that we as teachers, you know, we just don't stand and wait for the department to make so many things for us, but we as well as an association, together with the partnership that we can have with the private sector, we can be able to make a collective decision and make sure that, you know, this quest of making sure that we contribute professionally is realized. And it's also based on principles I've spoken to, that of non-alignment to any political party. We are not aligned to any organization or any educational body or union. And it's also to acknowledge the determination that this government of us is having for uplifting the skills of the people of South Africa, and therefore supporting the Department of Basic Education 3 streams model. There are a number of aims that we have, is to enhance the quality of teaching and learning, to provide an open forum for all concerned with the teaching of technical education at all levels. And at all levels, we are speaking of technical high schools, we are speaking of school of skills, we are speaking of schools that are also implementing all the technical and technology subjects. And it's also to advocate the blue-collar career skills through career guidance to increase participation. And you will see, colleagues, I'm suited in blue. There is a reason. The issue of having people who are wearing blue overalls and not advocating for this career, it has put a lot of countries, our country being one of the countries, because when you are wearing an overall, you seem to be dirty. But the funny part is that when there's a crisis, the blue-collared people are the ones that are mostly called. So it is also to advocate to our children, to advocate to the parents, to say not only academic careers are important, but all the careers are important, including our blue-collared technical careers. And we are also advocating and also making sure that we will be going to schools and also advocating, using all forms of media in our career drive to make sure that the learners are also exposed to all these kinds of technical careers that are available. And it's also to participate in the structuring, the strengthening of the curriculum, as well as the alignment and the development of anything that has to do with education. I've also told you that most of the learners, most of the members of SATIA are also members of the National Training Team of the Department of Basic Education. So we've already made strides in making sure that in all these processes that the Department of Basic Education is having, as far as restructuring, as far as strengthening the curriculum, as far as developing LTSM, our members have been role players in that. We also want to collaborate with teachers globally. We want to have exchange programs. We want to find out how are other teachers, how are other associations that are in different countries across the world, how are they working, so that we exchange ideas, so that we can also find ways that we can have common ground. We also want to resuscitate the programs of having educational excursions. We can still have educational excursions within the country, and we can also have those educational excursions outside the borders of the country, so that our technical teachers as well as our vocational teachers are able to touch base with their counterparts and learn on what is happening. We also want to contribute in eradicating the high rate of unemployment amongst the youth, especially the youth that are already out of school, through redirecting, through retraining, also through resuscitating the schools that have been unused, and in a way find a way of converting them into, schools of skills, especially for those that are out of school. And we are also talking of reusing, recycling, and repurposing. We also want to establish good relations with all stakeholders, the Department of Basic Education, the provincial education departments, the private sector, industry, TVET colleges, higher education institutions, CETAs, NPOs, NGOs amongst, within the country as well as beyond the borders. We also want to organize national, provincial practical skills for teachers and learners. And we were able to, as an association, in the past weekend, we were able to converge at the Free State where we had, where Sasol together with the Free State Provincial Education were hosting a provincial, in fact, a national competition for the learners for grade 11 in the 3 specializations, electrical technology, mechanical technology, as well as civil technology. And for the first time, they were also launching the first competition for the teachers. It was an eye-opener, especially for the provinces that did not take place. And the learners that took part in the skills competition, as well as the teachers that took part in the skills competition, were awarded with prizes. I can recall there is one learner who was the overall winner for welding and metalwork. As I stand here, I know that boy who is in grade 11, by the way. He has already started to canvas, to get, in fact, to market, not to canvas. He's already marketing himself. He will be able to establish his own, private company, even if it's not registered, but he will be able to use his skills and help his community and help the parents at home by using the welding machines and all the tools that were given to him, and using the skills. Those skills, where do they come from? They come from the teacher. And I would really love to, thank Sasol Foundation for the splendid work that they have sort of overtook us, but we are saying we are learning from the best. And we also have to make sure that we conduct research and through commissioning of our members, establishing exchange programs as well as other members. And also to say, in the very same competition that was happening on Saturday, we are proud to say that 4, I have to call them by name. We had Mr. Andrew Nkwana, who is a specialist from the Gauteng provincial education. He's a specialist in digital electronics. We had Mr. Paseka Sidutla. He also comes from the Gauteng. He's a specialist from the Gauteng. He's a specialist. A teacher who is a specialist in his own craft. He's also from the Free State province, and we also have another specialist who's also our member, who comes from Mpumalanga, Mr. William Munareng. You'll have to pardon me, age is catching up with me, I forget. What has happened since 2000, because we know in 2000, on March, the second week of March, the whole world came to a halt when we were on lockdown, when COVID-19 everything had to stand still. But We did not stand still as an association. We were working in our little compartments, and we established an interim committee. And the interim committee that we have has been working since 2020 to date. We have Mr. Giftindaba from the Gauteng province, who is the president, and we have Mr. Mfananene, who is the deputy president. He comes from KwaZulu-Natal. We have Ms. Ritsibile Radingwaga, who is our secretary. She is from the Gauteng province, and we don't have, we have a vacant position as a treasurer, because we are not handling money at the moment. We are working on a voluntary basis. And I, Ms. Nkuntu Desiree Tswiti, I am working as in the gender and also in the education desk. We also have our 4 provincial chairmen. We have Ms. Masekete Maseko. She comes from the Free State, and if I also have to shower her with praises, this is the best welder. She is the best welder in the whole of South Africa. She is a woman. And let me also say, I am an advocate for women emancipation. We know that, the field of technical is a man's world, but we as women has also crafted a way for other women and also girls to know that this is not only careers for men, but women, we also have the capabilities of being in these positions, and also the careers that the men are in the technical world. We have Mr. Khosimweng. Mr. Khosimweng also comes from Gauteng. He's also a specialist and a guru in the field of coding and robotics. He played a very big role in the crafting and the writing, as well as the orientation of coding and robotics in the curriculum. We have Mr. William Munaring. Mr. William Munaring comes from the Mpumalanga province. He's a subject specialist in mechanical technology, and he's also a panel member for the Department of Basic Education Examination. We have Mr. Dan Mukherjee. Mr. Dan Mukherjee comes from the Northwest province. He's also a specialist in civil technology, and he has unfortunately even left the Department of Education for greener pastures to go and become an entrepreneur. So this association is very important, because we are not only interested in the teaching and education, but we also want to make sure that our members, we develop them so that they have these entrepreneurship skills. After working hours, they also continue with their own businesses. These are the highlights that we've had. Like I told you, colleagues, we were in the lockdown. We could not meet each other. We decided to open a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group, it's well and working. And it was an avenue. They will tell you, those that are part of the association will tell you that this was a platform that we could use when people were bereaved. We could support each other. When teachers had to go back to school, I mean, we know with the kind of subjects that we are teaching is a practical subject, but the COVID safety rules spoke of the having to distance ourselves. How does a teacher distance himself from learners when they have to do the practical task? People were frustrated, but through this association, through the WhatsApp group, we were able to share ideas as to how we can be able to, continue with the curriculum, continue with the practical assessment task, continue with all these simulations that learners were expected to do. We already have a constitution. We also have a logo, because we had teachers that were teaching for the first time in 2020. and we were on lockdown. We used the platform for mentoring and coaching. We used the platform for supporting messages. We used the platform to motivate each other. We used the platform to share departmental documents, circulars. When the department took initiative to develop a revised ATP in order to make sure that there were learning losses, but we had to accommodate a new ATP according to the new calendar. We were able to share the ATPs. We were also able to mediate the ATPs with provinces, especially that do not have subject advisors. These are some of the challenges, and we know we don't only have challenges. You don't put a challenge. You must also make sure that you find how do you mitigate it. As much as we have the interim association and we have an executive committee, not all the provinces are presently represented in the interim committee. And this is a challenge because we cannot, at the moment, we cannot work, we cannot, cascade all the information to all the provinces. But through the Sasol Foundation, we will be using this foundation. We'll also be using this conference with the information that, the data that Sasol would have collected from the teachers that are logged in presently. We will be able to get volunteers from the provinces that are not represented. And if I have to mention them, Limpopo is one of the provinces that is not represented. The Eastern Cape is one of the provinces that is not represented. And the challenge that we have with one of our members having left us in the Northwest also presents a challenge, but we know we will have volunteers from the Northwest province. Those are the 3 provinces and the Northern Cape. So those are the 4 provinces that we will need to get volunteers so that they are also presented. For now, we've been using one form of communication, a platform, media platform for communication, which is the WhatsApp, and we know WhatsApp can only accommodate 250 members, and in essence, we cannot accommodate everyone. We have since developed a Facebook page, and you will be able to join us on the Facebook page. And we are going to make sure that we use a variety of platforms. Remember, this is an interim committee. We don't want the interim committee to do everything. We want to have an opportunity so that when we have conferencing and the members elect a permanent and a democratic executive committee, they will be able to, touch the ground running and continue and making sure that other communication models and platforms are used. And the issue of sponsorship, it was a problem. But I'm telling you now, the issue of sponsorship will not be a problem for our association. With the number of exhibitors that we saw that are supporting technical education with Sasol Foundation and with Kagiso Trust, we know that when we knock on their doors so that they help us in making sure that this association of us come to pass, they will be able to help us. This is the way forward. We intend to officially launch this association in April 2023. COVID has made everyone to wake up. Our ideal situation would have been to launch it today. In an ideal situation, we would be somewhere in a journey, in a venue, everybody wearing the regalia, but it doesn't happen. That is why we are saying we'll do it in April. We are going to have a conference, and I've spoken to say we will have a national executive committee, we'll have the interim members, and we'll also have guests that we would have invited. That is the structure that we are going to work with. And in conclusion, I'm going to quote Kofi Annan, may his soul rest in peace. Knowledge is power. Information is liberating. Education is the premise of progress in every society. in every family. Literacy is a bridge from misery to hope. Education is a human right with immense power to transform. On its foundation rests the cornerstone of freedom, democracy, sustainable human development. I thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Please come this way, join me, so I can ask you just one or two questions. Before I do, while you were speaking, we put out a poll, and the question that we've posed to the members is, would you like to join the association? This is your association. So far, 100% of the people have said yes. So hopefully, as time goes on, you will see that trickling down to numbers. But quick question, how do they join? What must they do?
Presently, we are using WhatsApp. And I also said we have a link, we have a WhatsApp link. And I have also posted the link this morning. I also posted the link yesterday on our chat. And we also have a Facebook page that we have established. So those are the two modes that my friends, I call them my friends, those are the two modes that they can use to join.
Is there a joining fee?
Like I said, this, for now, there's no joining fee. You just join the organization, and when we go for conferencing, everything will be sorted there. The interim committee that I'm speaking about, since 2020 to date, we are running this organization out of our own pockets. Let me also bring the technical people in the spotlight to say, you know, technical teachers are a very different breed. I always say we are not the same, and people sometimes think we think highly of ourselves, and yes, we think highly of ourselves, because even before we had 3D movies, a technical person had always been a 3D person. Everybody, most of the people see 2D, but technical people have got a third eye. That is why all the learners and all the teachers that are doing EGD, they are doing their drawings and everything in 3 dimension. And if you don't have that third eye, unfortunately, you will not be able to do that. That's why I'm saying that is a very, teachers that are in the technical field are a very, rare commodity. These are teachers who go all the way. Don't forget, I'm a teacher, so if you don't stop me, I will not stop.
No, continue.
These are teachers who go all the way beyond the 7 hours that they are paid, that they are employed to do. Our subjects have got they've got a practical component and they have a theory component. With the hours that we have, it's not possible, because remember, the teacher has to demonstrate. After demonstrating, all these learners must be given an opportunity not to touch, but to connect. Not only connecting, but to build. And after they've done all these, that's what we call informal tasks. Then comes the formal tasks. Now, these formal tasks are done in a setting, just like when learners are writing a test, each and everyone gets his or her own question paper, no copying. So the same with the practical tasks. But then now with the number of learners that the teachers are having, it's not possible.
Let me quickly interrupt you there. There's a question here from Nathan, and he says, may you perhaps use Telegram to accommodate more educators so that we can get support and assistance in real time?
A rare commodity. That is another platform that we will be able to use. Thank you.
Another one is, can you please share the link to join the group for the new union for technical?
I will share as soon as I come out from this hot seat. I will repost it every 10 minutes until the end of the conference.
Okay, while you're still at the hot seat, and I'm happy you said that, I want to ask you this question. You said Masekele. Maseko is
Sisters,
the best welder in?
She is the best welder in all the technical high schools. We had our third and fourth teachers conference the same, and she took part. By the way, she comes from the Free State. She took
You're
part.
from the Free State as
No,
well?
I'm not from
No.
Free State. I'm from Gauteng, born and bred in Alexander Township. I grew up in Pimville.
What are they doing, Go Free State there? Because everyone seems to be promoting a Free State. Most of the speakers are from the Free State. It looks like they're the ones that are really driving this initiative.
No, it's not the Free State that is driving this, but
Okay.
you know, there are drips and drabs of teachers that are in different provinces, and you know, now I'm mentioning Masikete, but let me tell you, there are so many unsung heroes that we have in the provinces. I mean, we can talk about the teacher that is from Soshanguve, where they were able to build a car, they were able to build that locomotive train. We have teachers who are from John Oz, who were able to, you know, with collaboration. You had those learners building a car, but that car is not only automotive. You had the civil people constructing it, using the wood. You had the learners who were doing EGD. It means the EGD teacher who had taught the learners the drawing skills, made it possible for those learners to be able to draw it first, because that is how it's happening in the technical world. We conceptualize and we draw and we prototype, you know, the steps that we follow. And in all these endeavors, there is a teacher.
You are heading the gender and education desk. Briefly, just tell us a little bit about that.
I'm actually heading it, I don't know, by default, because I work for the Department of Basic Education as a Chief Education Specialist for electrical technology and mechanical technology subjects. But I'm a teacher by profession. And when we started this association, I took a back seat. They had to lead, but along the lines, I was requested to say, they call me Sister Boss, by the way.
Sister Boss.
Sister Boss. They said, we would really love for you to occupy the education desk, especially now that we will be having, you know, departmental documents. We wouldn't want anyone to misquote, you know, circulars. We wouldn't want anyone to misrepresent the department. So in this case, we are asking for you to occupy this space. And on the issue of gender, like I said, this is a men's world, but I'm telling you, women are here to stay. And I'm an advocate for girls to take part in this subject. So I think in them, putting me in the gender desk is also to demystify this conception that this is a men's world.
You know, I'm happy you brought that up, because I wanted to ask, how come is it that there's more male artisans than females?
Okay, this goes back to the history of our country, where even in the offerings, now you people will know how old I am. With the offerings that we had, most of the female learners were given certain subjects, and I would love to say I was one of the fortunate ones who were given an opportunity to be able to do these subjects. In fact, we were identified as a group of gifted learners, and we were taken to this technical high school in Pimville Progress High School. There was another one in Meadowlands, Veritas, there was Fidelitas, and that's where a number of girls met and we were given these subjects. And like I'm saying, the issue even emanates from home. When a girl celebrates, I can even ask your daughter, when she celebrates, you buy her a doll, you buy her a sewing machine, you buy her pots. When a boy celebrates, they get mainly,
Gifts. Yes.
So it also emanates even from home to say, even the workload, the girl is supposed to be cleaning, the boy is supposed to be helping the dad with the cars and everything. But then times have changed. The world is evolving. Women are stronger. Women are stronger, and it's important that we, as those that were given the platform, those that are in the forefront, we should make it possible. And let the girl child see that it's possible for them to be able to follow these careers.
Thank you. Let me quickly read a few of the comments here. Utobile Matibula says, thanks for the nice and clear presentation. You see, quick response. This conference is so awesome. Someone says, okay, can you please post a link? I've already read that one. I would like to suggest that you use Telegram as well for problems, WhatsApp, so that the teachers can get help in real time. We've discussed that. Another one saying, very nice presentation. Thank you so much, madam. Ma'am, we appreciate your time. We thank you for educating us, and we wish you and your institution all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.